Good evening. Welcome back to Relationship Cake and Ice Cream. And today, my topic is about Jada Pinkett Smith and August Alsina. Okay. Hope everybody's staying safe, wearing masks and everything. I just want to say that before I get started. Well, let's talk about this situation. The Red Table Talk. Jada Pinkett Smith came on there and she talked about how um she had an entanglement with August Alsina. And she spoke about how he was struggling, I believe, with some type of mental health issue, depression. He was on drugs and basically a bad state of existence. And she started out talking about how um, her desire was to help him get out of that state. I think she had rescue syndrome. Okay. She wanted to rescue him from, excuse me, that state of existence that he was in. Okay. Help him to get better. And I guess assuming now she take credit for being in a better state. I don't know. But anyway, I'm a relationship strategist. My name is Robin Moses, and what I'm here to talk about is the situation between her and Will, and the situation between her and August, and also the state that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith is. Okay. Let's first out the situation with her and August Alsina. Well, maybe I'll talk about the situation with her and Will. Because, first of all, my opinion of the whole situation is that Jada Pinkett Smith did not need to bring herself to the to talk about the situation with August Alsina as it relates to her marriage because it wasn't a public issue. I don't believe, I understand what happened was August Alsina was on the Breakfast Club and he talked about his relationship with Jada. Okay, to some extent. I didn't really watch the Breakfast Club to see what the young man had to say. Okay. But I will say I didn't feel like whatever he had to say, she needed to come to the red table to, I don't know what she was doing, fire it, justify it, um, refute it in some way, say her and Will marriage is good, their relationship is back together. I don't know, but when I watched that Red Table Talk, I felt like not only did I feel like she was uncomfortable with the whole issue. The Red Table Talk was 12 minutes, I think. I don't even know. Did it make it all 20 minutes? It wasn't that long, but I definitely felt like Will Smith was uncomfortable. I didn't feel any authenticity about it. Matter of fact, I thought it was one of the most controlled environments of a conversation that I ever watched. Okay. Her and Will Smith have redefined their partnership as life partners. I don't know what that means because many of us have um, life partners. Your good friend is your partner. Your boss may be a partner to you. You have a partner maybe in the business. I don't know what I mean when they say they're life partners. Maybe they will be friends for the rest of their lifetime. That's all I get out of it. Okay. Because I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't really see a solid relationship there between her and Will Smith. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. Excuse me one second. I just need to wet my throat. I don't see a relationship, a solid relationship between her and Will. It look more forced to me. Okay, more forced. And I've seen comments where people say, "Oh, but her and Will wasn't together. Her and Will are still married because when you um in the public eye, what you want to tell people is exactly what you want to tell them. That people are saying, oh, she's sharing her truth. Oh, you should let no one else tell your story but you. You should tell your own story if you're going to tell it. But I didn't feel like that was the story. I felt more like that was what you wanted to tell the public, not to have the public think. You know, when you a big personality to the public, you could control the narrative. And I felt like she definitely controlled the narrative. I felt like she controlled it. I didn't feel like Wilker was controlling it at all. At one point, he says to her, when she's, going on and on toward the beginning, he says to her, well, what happened, Jada? He said it just like that. Okay. Well, what happened, Jada? In other words, how I took it was you just going on and on and on and on. Let's get to the real story. Put your teeth in it. Let's really get into it. Okay. But I didn't see that happen. And let me just say that she doesn't owe the public any explanation. That's why I felt like she didn't have to bring that conversation to a public forum. I think it was really a mistake. Okay. Now the other thing is Jada Pinkett Smith. I believe she is born in 1971. So that would make her turn 49 in September. Okay. August Alsina is 27 years. He's a baby compared to her. All right. Now, I'm sure you have um nice names they want to give to her, like a cougar. Okay. And some people may feel like, oh, yeah, she sold her wild oats with that young man. No, absolutely not. She said that she wanted to help him. Now, let's just reverse the narrative a minute. Let's say that was a man, 48 years old, when he met a young woman, 27. Okay, under the multiple stage being depressed and on drugs. Okay, and he ended up taking this young woman. That's one of many of you that's okay. Okay, some of you gonna think it's okay because you don't care. But Jada, right now, I'm not sure she's not in that predator status. Okay, you went in to help him and you wind up sleeping with him. Now, you call it want an entanglement. Sound like somebody got a rope and wrapped you up. Okay, but this is an intelligent woman. Okay, this is not somebody who is not intelligent, uneducated, and haven't been making her own decisions. Okay, she's a so she chose to be with that young man, to be in this quote unquote entanglement. Okay. How do you have an entanglement with a young man? How old is Jada's son? Okay. How old is Jada's son? Like, I can't understand how you, a mother, is going to get in an entanglement with someone that is just about your son's age. Okay, how do you get in an entanglement with somebody who is about your son's age? Okay, they only see is 6 years apart. Jaden and August are 6 years apart. Okay, and you allow yourself to in an relationship, because I'm gonna call it what it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it by calling it an entanglement. Okay, it just sound like you just couldn't go into yourself and call it what it was, a romantic relationship, romantic involvement. Let's just keep it real. This is the problem I had with that red table. Like, I didn't need to know. I didn't want to know. It wouldn't even be up for public conversation if she didn't tell it. But she told it. So, yes, it's up for public conversation. I don't know why everybody's angry because everybody have different opinion about it. But the line is, she had a romantic involvement 1 years her junior, while a married woman with quote unquote a life partner, quote unquote, two children, that are just stepping into their manhood and womanhood themselves. You went in, her words, to help him because he was in a bad state of, and you wind up in the bed with him. Okay. Comforting him in the bed. I don't know what that is. I still have to into the red table and talk about it like it was okay, it was acceptable. It's just over my head. Okay, I feel like she would have did better to keep that to herself. He's a young man, August Alsina. If he wanted to talk about it publicly, let him talk about it publicly. But you didn't need to come in behind him to validate it. To me, I'm defending myself. He was suffering, and I rushed in to help him, and fell in the bed together and slept together. That's what that sound like to me. Unlike to you all, but that like to me. And this is from a grown woman married with two children, a mother. Okay, I'm totally confused. She would have did better to come out and say, yes, I allowed myself to make a mistake being involved with this young man who I didn't have any business being involved with. I went in to help him and things awry. That's what she should have said. It didn't have to be wording. Okay, I'm nobody's judge and jury, but if you want to say something, okay, don't act like everything was okay. And you got Will sitting across looking like, it's looking like he came to that table something else. Like she was gonna say something totally different. He looked like he was in shock himself. He looked peculiar, like he was tired. He had been told beforehand, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't say on in here and support life part. He'd have did better to stay on that on her own. Okay, that's just my opinion of the whole thing. I'm uncomfortable for both of them. Okay, that whole scenario. Okay, and then toward the bill to say that they're better now. Better how? I don't know. I'm still confused. Are they married or not? Do they live in the same house or not? Relationship or not? Is this a real marriage or farce? Okay, what's going on with them? Like, definitely, it doesn't seem like a real marriage to me. It seemed like a public marriage. You want to keep, don't be surprised if not long after this, you hear they're getting a divorce. Because I don't know about you all, but I feel embarrassed, okay, to air the dirty laundry on the red table talk. I thought it was embarrassing. Okay, don't be surprised if soon you hear they're getting a divorce. That's going to be okay. Now, let's talk about August Alsina. August Alsina's young man. Jada is 26 senior. Old enough to be his mother. Okay. Yes, I'm going to go there. Old enough to be his mother. I can see her getting in a relationship where he was in the right of mind. But she said herself that the man depressed on drugs. And I wasn't sure, but I think she had that man on early in the Red Table Talks on set. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing him there and whatnot. But I could see having a relationship. You want to be a cougar with somebody who is in their right mind. But this young man, she said, was not in his right mind. So I feel like you took advantage of him. Okay, and maybe he probably won't agree. Okay, he probably will not agree that he was taken advantage of. Okay, he probably won't agree because if no other reason, he's a young man, and I know his ego and pride would be involved. Okay, and for him, let's just say, whoa, you got somebody like Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't even know. Maybe his mother might have been watching her on her TV shows while he was growing up. Okay, but what an ego boost to have this young woman who is very well known wanna be romantically involved with you. And then for me, it got even more bizarre.